My year and month that I was born was November 1988. Throughout that year, there was a lot of history that took place. In the specific month of November, we had things like natural disasters, we had presidential elections, some major advances in technology, as well as some famous song and some sports history. One of the famous songs that you heard in the beginning was by the Beach Boys, the song Kokomo, which was a very popular song at the time. Let's start with advancements in technology. Some of the major advancements in technology in November of 1988 was in Staten Island in New York. Payphones. I don't know if very many people even know what payphones are if you're younger. Staten Island had payphones installed first, and probably to this day don't even see them very often. I actually seen my first one at jury duty on Wednesday. First one I've seen in probably 15 years. Something else pretty historical that happened in New York again this month was their buses. So a lot of people have bus transportation. Nowadays it's either a scan of something or a swipe. Back then in 1988 you used coins, quarters or nickels or dimes. At this point in 1988 they made the transition or started to make the transition from coins to a credit card. So instead of putting a coin in and dropping a coin for however long you needed to write it, you would just swipe a card. This was a huge advancement because credit cards were just becoming a common thing. Something else that was very historical that year and that month were pocket phones. Nowadays, in this day and age, we have cell phones, regular, small, fit in your pocket, fit in your purse phones. In Britain was the first place that had these pocket phones, so they went from the big brick phones to tiny little itty bitty cell phones that they called pocket phones. Something else I'd like to touch on that happened in November were presidential elections. We just had a presidential election back in November. And at this time in 1988, we had our President George Bush Sr. be elected as our 51st president. He was previously our vice president before that. Another presidential election that took place was in Puerto Rico. This president's name was Rafael Fernandez. He was also elected the same month. Another historical event that happened were natural disasters. There were some major natural disasters that happened, and those happened every single day all around the world. A lot of times we don't even hear or see what happens or the lives that they take. These ones were, one of them happened in China on November 8th. It was an earthquake. This earthquake claimed 900 lives at first, and only 2 days later, the death toll turned into 938 lives. Another historical natural disaster was on November 25th, North US and Canada. A huge earthquake, but no damages were reported. November 30th, Bangladesh, eastern India had a tornado that hit, claiming 317 lives. These are astronomical amount of people that lose their lives every day to natural disasters. I can't even imagine it happening here. Something else I'd like to touch on are sporting events. Sports are very common. Everybody's very into it. Today is opening day for the Tigers. Some interesting facts about sports in November of 1988, November 5th, the Palace of Auburn Hills, somewhere that we go all the time for concerts. My daughter's first concert was at the Palace of Auburn Hills. They have sporting events and all kinds of different events. This one was the Pistons. The Pistons played the Hornets for the first game ever at the Palace of Auburn Hills, winning 94-85. Another interesting fact was Wayne Gretzky. He scored his 600th NHL goal, which I can't even imagine because I don't think I could score 5 goals on the ice. One more thing are the Yankees. They signed their second baseman, Steve Sax, to a 3-year contract. Some interesting music facts. Whitney Houston was a big one with her hit One Moment in Time, Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle, and Kokomo, which you heard in the beginning, by the Beach Boys. Some economy facts. Gas at that time was only 91 cents. Now we're up to almost $3 a gallon. The average house price was only $61,000. Average house price now, since we've been looking for houses for my family, around $160. A postage stamp, only 24 cents. In conclusion, 1988 November had plenty of different historical events, from payphones to cell phones to bus coins to credit cards. We had the presidential elections, we had natural disasters, sporting events, different sporting places being opened, different music. The economy has changed tremendously over the years. Overall, it was a huge year for history in that month and that year, but the best day of the entire year was obviously my birthday, November 25th. Thank you for listening to my speech. This is Nicole.